I've officially learned so much from you in this roundup. That was a tip I obviously needed. Now don't worry everyone, we are not done yet. It is demo time. Now Suzie is going to give us a master class on false eyelashes. So let's head over to the makeup lounge. Let's take a walk, girl.
Amazing. Awesome.
All right, this looks like lash heaven over
yes,
here.
There's a lot happening here.
Yes, please, so just talk me through everything we've got going on over here.
Perfect. So I feel like when it comes to lashes, there are so many options.
I mean,
there's strips, there's individuals, there's thick strips, long strips, there's magnetic strips, there's
all of the strips.
Lash extensions, right? So there's so many things. So I think that sometimes when you're shopping for lashes, you don't know what to do, right? You're like, you go to the drugstore, you go somewhere and you see things on Instagram and you're like, that lash.
But like, which is right for me?
Right, exactly. So this is perfect because you and I have very different eye shapes and eyelids and lashes. But I'll talk you through what's here, and then we'll talk about what would be ideal for each of us.
Done. Let's do it.
Okay. So first we have some magnetic lashes, which I'll show you. Oh, I still have eyeshadow on my hand. And the magnetic lashes are not all created equally. Some are really short. This one has one magnet, which means only the center is magnetized. This one has 3 magnets, and I know that looks crazy. It means there's a magnet on either end and in the center, which makes it stay on a little easier. This one is a 2-magnet one, and I was going to show you this one because I really like this one the best. But if you can see it at the edges, it has 2 little skinny little magnets.
Yep.
So in order to make it stick, you actually have to, wait, let me make sure these are the same eye. No, okay. So you have to go under with one, right? So this goes under your real lash, and then you go on top with the other, and look, they magnetize together, and that's how you do it. I will honestly tell you these are very hard to master because it's very seldom that you will get these to line up
perfectly. Can you do that again for everyone?
Exactly. So let me pull these apart again.
Wait, I had no idea there were so many different types of, like just 1 magnet, 2 magnets.
Yes,
I thought magnetic lashes were magnetic lashes.
Or 3 magnets are my favorite. The 1 magnets tend to swivel a little.
Okay.
So the edges are never, they're like always a little popped off, which I don't love. But so this is the 2 magnet.
Okay.
And again, you'll put one under the lash. I would try it on you, but I think it's going to be a fail, but let's see.
I mean, do you want to? Oh God,
here we go.
It's all
okay, so
happening.
just kind of look down-ish. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one under first. Pardon if my hand is shaking, I'm literally like at her eyeball. Okay, and let's see if we can get it to stick. I mean, yeah, see, so it's on. It's on, but can you kind of see it in your peripheral vision?
Oh yeah, I can feel it.
So that's why I don't love a magnetic lash. It's perfect if you want to, like, I mean, it actually looks good. To the viewer, I think it's going to look good. Here, let me show you a mirror.
It feels crazy on my face.
Let me show you a mirror.
Okay. Oh, it looks way better than it feels.
Right, so it's not a comfortable thing. So it's not my favorite. I think it was a craze for a while.
Yeah,
and,
because it's easy, and so I want you to, I'm excited for you to teach us the real way to do it so we can actually apply them properly.
Okay, so would you like me to pull these little babies off?
1.
You did it. Oh, yeah, see, that's it.
Just that is the nice part. They're super easy to remove.
Super easy to remove.
Okay, what's next?
So next is a company called Lashify. So this is in an effort to replace lash extensions. Not really to replace. This is like an at-home lash extension.
Sure.
So this comes with different kinds of lashes, and I'm going to pull one of these guys out. And it comes with these little wheels, and this one is to amplify, and this is one length, and there's a longer one in here. And basically they pull out from under here. So see, that's just like a whole little cluster, and you just kind of pull that right back out. And what happens is you put this stuff on first. It's kind of like a mascara coat, and then you take one of these clusters and you put it underneath your lash, and then you take this little this
fancy little tool
little tool, and then as you're putting it on, you're like crimping them together. And then however long you want the lash to stay, if you want it to stay a long time, you take this second product and you kind of coat them together to kind of like marry the 2 lashes together. And they say you can keep these on for multiple days. I have not tried them, in all honesty, but I want to. So
we'll report back once you do.
We will report back, yeah, because this could be an amazing product. And they come in interesting colors. They come in
there's so many pretty colors
teal,
down there.
There's brown, so if you're a blonde and you don't want extra lashes that are black, but you want like dark brown, that could be a great option.
I sort of want those purple ones.
Well, wouldn't that be so fun?
Right? So this is sort of in between an individual lash and a strip lash because they're grouped together.
They're grouped together, and they say that they stay on for multiple days, which I think is kind of a great thing.
All right.
Yeah.
If
and
they
then
say so.
We also have some different kinds of strips.
Okay.
So we have some mink lashes, which I believe the mink ones are down here. all ethically sourced mink. And then these ones are silk up here. And then we have some on the table that are all different thicknesses and thin and thick. Tarte makes some great thin lashes that are on a nice little band.
Yep, love.
So the difference between strip lashes now is going to be the band that they're on. So I personally, for comfort, like to wear a strip lash that is on a clear band because it's like a lot more comfortable as your eye is pliable, right? It's always moving back and forth.
Right.
And so like as you blink and close your eyes and open your eyes, your lid is moving separately from itself. And so that's what makes lashes more or less comfortable.
Gotcha.
So these ones that have like a black strip, you know, these are not, they're beautiful and they're not bad, but for someone like me with like a kind of a smaller little eye, it would be a little less comfortable because that black strip, what it says to me is that there's like a lot of lashes in there. And so, you know, it's just a little bit more like specific for kind of someone like you.
I got
this
big
would be,
eyes.
yeah, and this would be a great lash for you. So this, we will probably end up putting this one on.
I can't wait. Now, price points, because these are kind of all over the map.
They are all over the map, yes. I would say like a Tarte strip is probably like a little under $15.
Okay.
And also you can rewear your strips. So as long as you take good care of them, as you pull off the adhesive, so you know, you put them on for a night out, go have your fun. You come home, you look a little bit like a hot mess.
Just a tiny bit.
On the strips, you can actually just grab it and kind of pull the rest of it off. But then what you do is you take the glue and you pull the glue off the lash, and you can kind of clean it with like a little bit of a makeup remover and keep that like strip really clean so you can put it back away on your tray. That's why they give you these beautiful eye things. And you can probably wear them a couple of times as long as you take good care of them and clean them.
Right.
If they're all goopy from like last time's glue, they're not gonna look good.
And you can get drugstore ones that are really great.
Absolutely, and there's all different kinds of trays. So like for the individual ones, Glad Lash makes trays that are 3 different sizes, it's mixed lengths. So you can get like an under, a short, and a medium all in one tray, and this allows you to build, and I'll show you this on me. It's hard to do on yourself. I got a lot of questions about individuals all the time.
I love the way they look, but yeah, I'm absolutely
and they're
intimidated
comfortable.
by
They're
them.
more comfortable because like what you don't have is that band gluing your eye together, and so you're able to just kind of blink and, you know, you could keep them on multiple days. I have clients who wear them for weeks at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even with regular glue. So, you know, anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
For beauty.
So you can really run the gamut of price points here.
You can.
I mean, so whatever is comfortable for you. If you want to start off and try something maybe a little less expensive.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly. And also like a tray, you won't use this whole tray in one time.
Right.
So this will last you multiple times, but you cannot reuse these, right? Once you wear these,
Don't do it.
You take them off with water. They don't just try and pluck them off one at a time. That would be really difficult. And then they do wash down the sink, and you wave goodbye to them.
You say goodbye. So
Yes.
we talked about choosing the lash that is right for you.
Yes.
So is there a general set of guidelines, or how do
Yes.
you really go into a drugstore or you're shopping online and say, all right,
Yes.
well, this is the lash that's appropriate for my eye shape?
So we have very different eye shapes, so it's a good place to start for education, right?
Okay.
So you have like a great low lid, you've got a lot of space between your lash and your brow.
I do.
So you can handle a lash. I have a lot smaller space. So I have a space, you know, my eye is smaller this way, and it's also the line between my lashes and my brows is kind of small. So if I put a lash on that was like this, I would be all eyelashes.
Right. You'd
know?
lose any shadow you have on.
It would, like nothing would show. So, and you know, I'm a curler, you're a curler, right? So we want to get some of that lift on, but we don't want it to look heavy or overdone, right? We want to complement. Makeup is meant to complement beauty, not overtake it. So these would be good for you, right?
Okay.
And the other thing is when you're putting it on, I always say no matter what kind of lashes you're going to do, you always have to kind of line the liner around your lashes a little bit. Now you have like an actual wing liner on, which is a perfect base for a lash. I actually just have like a little bit in between my eyelashes, so mine is a lot lighter. So for me, you know, I still have some on, and I brought this one to show you to kind of,
because you don't want to see any of those gaps.
well, and I want to show you a little bit too, just how to go in between your eyelashes, and then we're going to put the lashes on, and it'll be completely married together.
Amazing. All right, so we have some questions coming in for
good.
you. All right.
Perfect.
So we have a great question from Erica Snipes. She says, is there a standard time for lashes to dry? And what about a timing difference between waterproof and non-waterproof mascara? The second curling could make all the difference for her.
That's true. Okay, so I agree. So wait, let's take that in pieces.
Okay, so first up is the time to let them dry before you go in to curl.
So we're back to we're talking about mascara.
Yes,
not glue.
and curling.
Okay,
yes.
we're talking about mascara.
Yeah.
So always, so she's asking how long?
The standard dry
Yeah,
time.
so I think waterproof mascara takes longer to dry. I think it's because the other mascaras are just a little bit drier. When choosing mascara, you have two choices. You either choose a regular mascara that's gonna come off easily and it's not gonna harm your lashes, but then you will end up with some dry flakies underneath. The other option is to choose a waterproof mascara. The waterproof mascara is going to coat your lashes and stay on all day, but then taking it off is a little bit harder, right?
Yes.
You need actual waterproof makeup remover. And otherwise you don't want to see 1 or 2 lashes in your hands on a daily basis because that adds up. After a month you will have no eyelashes. So you have to be really ginger and take care of your lashes and make sure you don't pull too many off. So I really like to use just a regular mascara on every day. If I'm doing an event, I mean in my kit I almost only carry waterproof because everybody I'm doing makeup on is going somewhere. Right, it's either their wedding or they're the mother of the bride, there's going to be tears, or they're at an event, a red carpet. I don't want anyone to have any flakes.
Yeah, no, I wore a waterproof mascara to a wedding this weekend because I knew I was done for otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, so anyway, so those are things to think about.
Yeah.
The curling question. So you kind of have to know your own lashes. I agree. I don't know if you can over curl, to be honest, but you just have to be careful. If you are noticing that you're catching lashes in your little band here, then it's time to sort of come up with a new method. The other thing to know, which is the reason these are made like this thing is a rest. So you're supposed to rest this on your eye so you never catch your eye skin in it, but it has to be sort of tilted away. So like, I'm gonna try and not block myself from the cameras here. Okay. But as you go in here, you kind of wanna lean this on your lash, and that's how you're gonna get your full curl. Does that make sense? Did I even?
Yeah, no, you did.
Right? So that's the other thing to know. And I always carry extra little bands in case these guys start to get mucky and I can't clean them properly in between jobs. I just keep them in my little bag. Another little trick, which I think is really fun.
Bring them.
Telling you.
Bring them.
They make these little individual curlers. Have you guys ever seen this?
No.
So it's this little like sectional curler. So you guys sometimes, if you ever notice, like if you sleep on one side and you've got one set of lashes that are completely wonky and face down.
Wait, I always have, there's one eye where I have an inner lash right on the inside that sometimes just likes to do its own thing. Right. And it will not cooperate with me.
And so sometimes it won't catch in that whole thing because that's the length of your whole eye. So this thing is amazing. So again, I'm gonna try not to block the mirror. Maybe I'll do this side. So what you do is you reach in and you put the little spongy bit on the bottom. It's just like a curler, but it's just a little sectional. So let's say like this corner, maybe I sleep on my left side and my lashes are kind of facing in the wrong direction. Right. You can choose, so again, I'm sorry if I'm blocking, but I'm trusting that you guys can get this, but you just kind of swipe under here and you can sectionally kind of just curl this little edge, and then just that corner goes up.
I need that for my uncooperative
this is a fun little tool.
Inner eyelashes.
Yes,
wow.
Exactly. It's a good little trick. It's a good little tool to know about, so you don't have to kill yourself trying to like get into those crimpers every time.
All right, so we're gonna get into the demo and we're gonna keep some questions coming as we go. So the most popular lash types, like we kind of mentioned, are the strip lash and individuals.
Yes.
So let's get into the good stuff. I want to see how we apply these.
Okay.
I am ready.
Here, let's have a seat.
I'm ready to go.
So I think the thing is that a lot of people ask about lashes. I think the most common and the easiest, since why they make them, is a strip lash, right?
Yes.
So you want to be able to take a strip lash and stick it on because it's like a one-time, one pop in. So there's a couple tricks to a strip lash.
Okay.
So I would say one trick, here we're gonna use these big baddies because, why not? Who doesn't wanna see these on Natalie?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
So the one thing is first you have to measure your eye. Most lash strips come too long for most people. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna measure this on you, and then we're gonna see if we need to trim some off. So if you look at the lash, it's a little shorter in the front and a little bit longer in the back, but not too much. If it's me, I'm gonna trim off the back. Usually that's the part that gets like really wingy, but I'm gonna look at it on you as I measure it, and we're gonna decide for that. So let's pull off this baby.
Okay.
Okay, and you want to kind of pull it off. Sometimes if they're stuck and you can't get them off, you can roll them downward because that's how they'll pop off that strip without compromising you don't want to get a kink in your lash.
Right.
So sometimes you can just drag them and pull them.
Wow.
Okay. then we're gonna measure, right?
Okay.
So just look down, and you could do this at home. You just kind of pop it on and see like, oh, can I wear it, whatever. So this looks like it's like a pretty good length for you. It's like a little bit long, but I think you can actually handle it. So see, look at that lash. Oh my God, it's gonna be so beautiful.
Oh, wow. Hello.
Yeah, hello. This is Saturday night. This is not Monday morning. I would say this is probably a little bit of an extra lash, but look at what that does to your eye and your makeup.
It's amazing.
It's like your makeup was literally waiting for this
lash.
moment.
I've been waiting all my life.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so we know it's long
fits,
and
right?
it fits. So the other thing that you can do, which I'm not going to do on you, but I'm going to show them, is you can take another kind of lash and you can cut it into sections. So sometimes at home when you're alone, it's really hard to get your like edges to the right spot, exactly like front. You'll see this is so long for me, right? I don't have enough eye for this.
Right.
So what you can do is you can cut it into 3 sections.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll cut it into a first section, except we want it to stay in the pretty dish. So we have to remember what order they go in, right?
Right, first.
So this is our first.
Okay.
Then we'll do a middle and a pretty good, and then because it's me that we're talking about, I'm gonna cut a little bit of the end off, right? Because it was just a little too long for me.
Right.
So I'm gonna just trim some of that off.
Okay.
And put this here.
Right there.
And then when I go to glue them on now I'll put them on in sections.
Do you start with the inner corner?
I start with the middle.
With the middle?
I start with the middle because it doesn't matter if they overlap a little bit in the middle.
Oh.
That way the middle is straight dead on center, and then you can kind of put the one that's tapered to the front in next, and then the one at the end. And a lot of times I like to say that it's the angle of your mirror that helps you put a lash on.
Okay.
So I think if you're looking in the mirror and you're looking a little bit downward, you see this is the perfect angle.
Okay.
Because if you have a mirror in your bathroom that's kind of like up here, look how open your eye is.
Right, you can't.
It'll be impossible not to get glue all over your eyelid, right? So this is a really good angle, not for the chin, but great for the eyelash.
The things we do for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, so I would say, I guess I'll put this one on this eye before doing the individuals on. But do you want to, you're going to do the strip all in one piece. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of glue, okay? I use a duo glue. I like this adhesive. I like using a black-based glue because then it just blends into your eyeliner.
Right. Okay.
And then what you can do, we don't have any Q-tips, but we can improvise.
We can improvise.
I'm going to use the back of
or
the
if we have
tweezer.
We're going to get magical Q-tips.
Okay, perfect. So I like to use a Q-tip just because it feels more exact. And then I want you to hold this like this.
Okay.
Also, some of these lashes come with their own adhesive and their own little plastic tweezers. So if you're like on the go and you don't have your whole kit with you,
but
you can use
the
those.
Duo. I think you can get Duo at a drugstore,
Anywhere.
can't you?
Yeah,
and so that's
at a
kind of your
drugstore.
go-to
Exactly.
glue.
Okay, so then what you would do is you would apply glue, which we're going to have a Q-tip here in a half second.
The magic of live television. Here we go.
Okay, so I'm going to have you hold this.
Okay.
Okay, keep it pretty crimped. Yep.
Okay.
And then we're going to take this Q-tip and we're just going to run it along this back edge, okay? And, it's okay. We want, for sure, the front and the back corner to have enough glue because those are the ones that pop off the easiest. In fact, I can see that this little front has like a little nub to it.
A little extra. I see exactly what you're looking at.
And that's going to be really uncomfortable. Can they see it?
There's like this little extra piece of...
So we're just going to trim that off with a very steady hand. See that? So that we got rid of, that's the piece that'll be uncomfortable potentially.
Okay.
The other thing is that you want your glue to dry a little.
Right.
So
You don't want to put it on soaking wet.
You want it to be a little tacky. So like if you're putting it on your own face, you can blow on it. If it's me putting it on you, it's unsanitary for me to blow on your eyelash.
I'll blow on my own eyelash.
So we do a lot of fanning, like a Polaroid picture,
Shake it, shake it.
Yes. Yeah. So you can blow on it, but you wait till the glue gets like a little tacky and you just want to be able to put it on one time and not move it.
Okay. So is there, like, how long do you typically wait? Like 45
you can see
seconds?
You can see it change color, so it's still a little too light gray, and it'll start to change color to a little bit of a darker gray.
Okay.
If you're using a white, it'll start to go a little clearer. And then you'll see that that's when it's time. And
you like the darker just because it blends in more easily with the band and the lashes?
Exactly. It's okay. The iPad doesn't need, it's okay. The glue comes off no matter what.
Okay. Hold on.
The only thing the glue, it's really tricky, is if you get the glue on your just done eye makeup, it is hard to undo.
Sure.
So you need to wait for it to dry, and then slowly peel it off. Don't take it off wet because it will just smear. So wait for, if you get a little glue onto your makeup, wait for it to dry, and then rub it off once it's dry, and you can always go back in with like a tiny little Q-tip and a little remover if you need it, but usually it should just roll right off once it's dry.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I'm also going to show you in one eye. I'm going to look like a crazy person.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm going to show
They don't
you.
mind. It's all for the educational
Exactly, and this
purposes.
is a lot more of an extra lash than I would normally use. So, I'm going to put a little bit of that glue, and I'm going to show you how I kind of put it on in sections. So this is that middle section.
Okay.
And again, we have to wait for it to get tacky enough.
Shake, shake, shake. All right, while we're getting tacky, let's see if we have any questions coming in while we sit here. All right, so Gigi McManus says, I can get lashes on, but I wear contacts and apparently have super sensitive eyes.
Yeah.
Whenever I try lashes with glue or magnetic, my eyes just burn up. Are there any lash products that work for sensitive eyes?
So that could be a latex allergy.
Ooh.
There are some glues that are not latex. I believe that Glad Lash uses a lash lock which is latex free.
Oh.
So it could be a latex allergy.
Okay.
So I would say that's just about trying a couple different glues.
Sure.
I don't think it's the actual lashes. I don't think it's wearing them. Lashes can be uncomfortable when the glue is wet. Sometimes when I'm doing lashes on people, they'll be like, oh, I can kind of see it. And when the glue dries, they don't see it anymore.
Interesting.
So sometimes you have to give your eyes a minute to adjust. But I'm guessing if there's discomfort, it's usually a lash.
A lash, okay. And then Marta says, I've wanted to try lashes, but have been too intimidated. Thanks for the informative video. Also, what glue do you recommend for a beginner?
So for a beginner, I would say the clear.
The clear?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like you can't make as many mistakes. If you do get it on, you'll just get a shiny spot as opposed to a black spot.
Gotcha.
So we're both going to start this now.
All right.
Ready?
Oh, God.
Okay, so we're going to head in.
Here we go.
So you want to take your tweezer arm and have it kind of upward. Kind of like this, because you want to head into your lash line with the base like that.
Okay.
So I'm going to watch you so we're not doing it at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to want to lift your elbow up a little.
Okay.
You want to look down into your mirror and see if you can get that. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide up your lash. So keep it as close to your lash as possible, and then you'll aim for the center. Yep. A little lower down to your lash. Yep, 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 exactly. And just leave it there. It should be tacky enough. Yep. And now you're going to use your fingers and push the edges in if it feels like it's in the right place. Yep. And so it's tacky enough, but it's not so.
Oh my God.
And then I'll have you marry the two together. So then when you look at me, if there's any separation, so see how like here there's like a little bit of separation. So you'll just take your tweezer and you'll just kind of sandwich them together. Again, we had some tools, that Lashify tool, or I had one.
That just
yeah,
them.
exactly. And then you can just kind of crimp them together and make sure that that is stuck.
Ta-da.
How's that feel?
How'd I do?
Here, let me see your front edge. Does it need a little crimping? Just a little. So the fronts and the backs are the parts that need the most because you don't want any separation. Yeah, that looks good.
That trick looking down this way is actually way easier than any way I've tried, because when I'm looking this way, I can't see where I'm going.
Right, because you just can't, you don't know where to put your eyeballs and your head. So I'm going to do it from this way, and I'm just coming into the center. So I'm going to slide up my own eyelash till I hit the base. These are going to be really extra on me.
Love
but,
it.
You know, here we go.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Exactly. So you see that? So that's the center.
Ooh, wow.
So that's like a lot of eyelash.
Oh my God.
And can you see what I mean about choosing smaller lashes for me? Because I think they are touching my eyebrows.
Yep, they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is, these are big for me. So I would normally, I'm going to show you the other eye. I'm going to do individuals.
Okay.
But let's just attach these other two little pieces so I don't look insanely crazy.
All right, so, and then I'm going to start some glue drying on this one.
Okay, are you going to wear two? Yeah, you
I mean,
have to wear two of the same lash.
Right, because otherwise I'm going to look.
Yeah, I can't do individuals that match that craziness.
All right, and so
all right, and I'm
peel off this way.
Gonna blow on these because why not?
Glue. Yep. I think that is one of the biggest things. Also, the letting the glue dry. I think a lot of people do put the glue on and try and go right
like
in,
I just
and
did.
then it's gonna do like that slip and slide.
Yes, exactly. And then you just never get anything, and then you get a little line on your makeup.
I think that's
Here,
what
let's
I
get a
used to
little
do,
of this.
and that was my main issue.
Yeah.
Was I did not let it dry long enough at all.
Which is
and
why
then
it's
I'm
a good
smearing
trick.
it around my eye.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So the waiting to let it dry is a good trick, and then so is the cutting it into thirds.
Right.
Because even right now, like I have this giant lash on and I have pretty small eyes, and I don't feel it. Like that feels really
Right.
comfortable. So I'm gonna get my other 2 pieces on this eye.
And we waited like a good minute or so at least.
That was a while,
yeah.
right? So it's like a good long time. So glue does need a second to dry. We're both fanning.
Fan and blow, fan and blow.
But while this one dries, I can show you on the other eye when you do individuals. So I'm going to wait for that to dry a second.
Okay.
When you do individuals, I'm going to use these mixed length guys. You can head right in, so you don't have to wait for it to dry as long.
Oh.
So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. And now knowing the way your eye is shaped, you're going to want to put a, wait, we need one more set of tweezers. Did we have?
I stole your tweezers.
That's okay. No, I had a little black mesh bag with multiple pairs in them. But it's okay. I can fake this.
I'm gonna do this.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So these are the mixed lengths, and I know that in most people's eyes, the center is shorter.
Right.
This, depending on the look you want, you can either do longer in the center and then shorter back at the end. That's
Okay.
more of like that doe-eyed look. If you want more of a cat eye, you're gonna put them in like ascending order. So you're gonna do like really shorts in the front, the next level is gonna go in the middle,
Right.
and the next one at the end so that they're the longest. And that's what I'm gonna do today just to show you.
And why do they not have to dry as long?
Because you're placing them in one at a time. There's no pop. Like they're not, edges aren't popping up. That one you're waiting for it to like hug your eye. So I'm just gonna do a couple of these. Let's like tuck the old bangs back here. Okay.
Okay.
So I have some schmutz on me.
That's all right.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull them off. I'm gonna start with the little baby ones.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna do a little bit of a dip. And also you don't wanna over dip your lashes. You just need that bottom edge.
That little bit.
Yep. And then I'm just gonna reach in here and lay them in. And like, I'll just keep going, right? So that's one. And again, it's this looking down mirror. You wanna have the tray facing away from you so that the lashes are in the right direction.
And do you just put them in based on like where you feel you need fullness
Yes,
along your lash
right.
line?
So like I have length in my lashes, but I
Right.
don't have fullness. And of course I'm like an obsessive curler. So,
Sure.
so
you
I'm just gonna kind of like keep walking these along the line, just sort of like that. You see, you just lay them in. Like that's 3, I just put 3 in. So now I'm gonna switch to the middle length, and now I'm gonna do short. Again, just a little bit of glue, and then, and you can check them in another mirror too, just to make sure that you don't get one that juts out.
Right.
So you see how this is like progressively getting a little bit bigger. So then I'm going to do another one of that length. And also be careful the way you pull them off the tray. Sometimes if you pull one hair, see how this one kind of got a little wonky. So I'm not going to use that one anymore because it has this 4th finger that is now. So kind of pull them off as a cluster if you can. Kind of like that, and then you can dip them into the glue. This definitely takes longer, so like set aside some time while you're getting ready. Once you practice a little, you can get really good at them. And then I just lay them just along that lash line, and I'm just gonna keep going because I wanna add fullness. So again, we're gonna come this way, dip it into a little glue.
Oh boy.
Don't get glue on your tweezers. How are you doing over there?
This other side was not as easy without the tweezers.
Oh, right, okay, so that's good to know.
So note, I think the tweezers definitely help in placement.
Yes.
Giving you that extra tool because I don't think I was as centered, but it's definitely getting easier. And I think with practice, like a few times, it's gonna get a lot. It's
I
everything
think that
is
looks
about
good. And also, while it's still a little tacky, you can still drag it.
to-
So here, like let's slide that front edge in a little. Is it killing you?
Amy Allen also says, listening using the Bluetooth in my car because I need lunch but don't want to miss this. Amy, your dedication is unreal.
I love it. Okay, wait, so I'm still working on this eye. Oh, I can probably pop in this front piece here
We'll
now.
throw that piece in and then,
Okay, so this is the front piece of the lash side that I cut into thirds. Okay. This is a two-handed job, sorry.
sometimes you gotta get in there with both hands.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's just laying in that strip. And I can kind
I
of
love
see
it.
it a little bit on this side. And then I'm gonna go in with the longer ones on this side.
All right,
While
we're
you
gonna
keep
do a
talking.
couple more.
Yeah.
And then I hope everyone is finding this super helpful because I know we had a lot of questions coming in about this.
And then these are the longer ones. So again, these are like, you know, just keep checking them. And also what I like to do at the end is I like to marry the lashes together with mascara. So if I have mascara
To make
on my
everything
lashes,
look-
so in the ones you have on, they're very fluffy. I
Right.
would not add mascara to those. But on the ones that I am wearing, I would, because they're fine, and I already have mascara on my lashes. So, and I also still need to add my third end piece to this crazy side.
Amazing. All right, well, Suzie, this has been incredible. I want to thank you so much for the false eyelash lesson.
Oh, it's so my pleasure.
I loved it.
You know, let's keep going.
She's gonna keep rolling with these lashes.
Well, because I'm gonna leave looking like
I know.
crazy.
Well, we can fix ourselves later. All right.
Exactly.
So, as you know,
Yes.
we like to end every show with a fun little game where the audience can win FabFitFun swag.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
Fun.
So will you please join us
Yes.
for a round of daily trivia?
I would love to.
Let's do it. It's time for